Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm that doll guy with part 2 of how to make a doll backdrop diorama. So if you tuned into my video last evening, the part 1 video, I showed all the materials I used to make backdrops, not necessarily dioramas, unless you get little accessories to to jazz up these backdrops. Excuse me. So, I just finished this. I'm still at my office. I haven't slept here, but sometimes it feels like I do. Please ignore the tape dispenser, pencil, and pen holder, and the hand sanitizer. As you guys can see, I'm one of those essential workers, so we have lots of hand sanitizer, face masks, and gloves. But they're holding down my flooring because my flooring is still drying. So, let's talk about this backdrop. As you guys know, yesterday I said I used a $5 cardboard trifold project boards the high schoolers use for projects. Not the expensive foam board, just the cheap cardboard. And my flooring are just 2 pieces of 20-cent poster board. That's just a little rug I print off from Google Images. So I used 2 to stretch over my dining room table. And when you have 2, you can make it as long or short of a floor as you want. But because your project board is so big, it's going to take 2 to kind of give you enough floor to have enough space for your backdrop. So what I did was, this is a combination of scrapbook paper like this, and printing off Google Images like this, like all this. And I ran the Google Images, the brick, along the whole area. So what do I want to tell you? This is all held down with just glue stick. I have repositional glue stick that I showed the other day, so you can kind of have some time to kind of work with your images. I had to piece together the brick, but because it's such a busy pattern, you don't have to really worry about getting it to line up, because it's so busy you just don't notice it. Unlike these that you had to get lined up, which as you can see are not perfect, but no one's going to really know. You want to really get your bottom level the most even, because that's what you're going to be photographing the most. The higher up stuff, who cares? Unless you're going for like a wide shot. So I glued this on, pieced it together on each panel. I want to go for a theme. I totally want to do mod, because I stated the other day that I'm collecting a new line of dolls that are they're an older line, but they're very cool. They're a surprise. We'll see if maybe you guys can figure out what I'm talking about. But they're very colorful, very vibrant, and they're from about 13 years ago. Lucky number 13. So anyway, so I went with a mod 60s kind of vibe to match these dolls I am currently collecting. However, for some reason, and I said yesterday that I just have ideas, but the practicality of it, when you put it together, it might come out very different than what you envision based on what you can print off from Google Images, what's printable, what's not printable, what doesn't have those water prints on them, what's free domain or whatever. So my living room actually became a little bit more mid-century. It just kind of worked that way, and just for like a little fun, I actually put the I Dream of Jeannie bottle on the mantle. So that's just all glued on individually. The books are glued on individually. The potted plant is glued on individually. The bottle, everything I printed off on a color printer, cut everything up by hand. Some of the stuff we have a paper cutter. So the framing of these photos and posters are actually printables that I found. They're trim from My Froggy Stuff blogspot. If you guys see My Froggy stuff on YouTube, she and Bella do an awesome job, obviously. So I she lets us use their printable. So I printed off some trim to make frames. I just cut them to size. I found Google Images, so I have Twiggy and a mod girl in a cool jumper and a kind of a groovy kind of thing. These are just wall hangings. I did a Google image search for a TV with a lava lamp. little bit of British Carnaby style influence here. You know, if you guys have heard of Mary Quant, she was very innovative on Carnaby Street with bringing the mod look to Britain. So this whole thing is kind of in keeping with Carnaby Street, 60s mod, not so much psychedelic, but just the pop art fashion kind of vibe is what I'm kind of going for. This rug was just a Google image I printed off. It's just paper and I laid it on the floor. I had to piece together, you know, I had to kind of piece together the flooring so it would match. But you can put furniture on this thing and your dolls. And so this is what my my trifold white poster board turned into. Was this, and it's kind of fun. I went for 3 different rooms, so to speak, in case I wanted to like make one a bedroom, one a living room, one an area that's a communal area, or maybe a living space or a dining room. Like, you can just do whatever you want. Now these are glue sticked on, so unless I want to destroy it and make something new, these are kind of permanent. However, I have done backdrops where I have I bought Velcro buttons or Velcro tabs, little Velcro circles that have both the sticky side and the felt side. And I have randomly put them on the walls, and I would either laminate what I wanted and put the sticker on the back of the Velcro to kind of, I would adhese or affix with Velcro these elements onto the wall so I could make it interchangeable. I felt like I had to laminate it to give it weight to keep it straight, but then you had the shine from the laminate in your photographs, so you know, you got to give a little to take a little, or take a little to give a little, or whatever the saying is. So I tend to just make these more permanent because I like them, and I don't know. I have about maybe 5, 6, 7 of these things that I've made, and I feel like by far this one is the most kind of interesting. I feel like I kind of went a little bit more with it, with taking the brick wall throughout the whole thing. That trim, again, is the same trim from the picture frames from the My Froggy Stuff blog spot. There are a lot of different printables. I might use those printables. I said yesterday that I might make this kind of like an outdoor, like brownstones or row houses where I could make a city scene or a city kind of skyline scene and have just more displayability and kind of use as much of this project board as I can. And also, I said yesterday, and I didn't do it yet, but these poster boards, you can flip them and you can also use a different pattern on the other side and make them a 2-sided floor. So you can have 2 different styles, just flip them as you need them if you want to change your room around. Or if you have several of these backdrops that you make and want to change your flooring. So I do have several sets of flooring. Okay, I worked on this for 2 evenings. I don't know the hours I put into it, but it was quite a few. But most of that's just trying to find Google images that work. That's more time consuming than anything else, and just all the cutting by hand of everything. But if you have time to spare during this COVID shelter in place order, and a color printer, you can find trifold project boards. It's hard to find big ones right now at Walmart and Meijer, but because usually hobby stores have these bigger ones. But you can definitely get some of your supplies started. You can buy the poster board, scrapbook paper at big box store. I don't know if Walmart's a big box store, but the Walmart and the Meijer and those kind of stores, you're not going to find enough scrapbook paper to get enough for a wall or for a pattern, because they usually have those packs that have only 2 sheets per and a variety, and it just doesn't give you enough. But if you have a color printer and a ream of white paper, then you can just print off to your heart's content and make whatever you want. So I wanted to just show you that my project is done. 2 evenings. I do have to still get home and get my kids dinner. So hopefully Taco Bell is still open. They're going to kill me if it's not. But I just wanted to kind of share with you guys my diorama. So hopefully you enjoy and have a great evening. Thanks.